What's up, YouTube? This is 2 Raw 4 TV. All right, so yesterday the New Orleans Pelicans defeated the Phoenix Suns by the final score of 128 to 117, and the Pelicans improved to a Western Conference best 19-8 on the year. The Phoenix Suns fall to 16-10 on the year. Still a good record, but not quite up to the dominating seasons that they've had the last couple of years. But the source of controversy was an in-game vicious 360 breakaway dunk that Zion Williamson perfectly executed that riled up the Phoenix Suns team, right? It pissed off the team. They thought it was unsportsmanlike for the most part, most of the players, not all of them, but a lot of the players and staff, and they thought that it was disrespectful, and a bit of a brouhaha broke out between the two teams, all right? Now, people have different opinions on this thing. This is my opinion, okay? I think Zion Williamson was just giving the fans what they wanted. Okay, all right. This ain't a situation where, Phoenix was down by 25, 30, 35 points. Okay, and you kept your starters out there, and you're just, blowing up the lead and trying to make it worse and worse and worse. That wasn't the case. The game was over, but it wasn't a blowout. Okay, and look. First, let me say this. Phoenix doesn't really have much room to be mad about this because I can recall many instances in my mind where Phoenix was talking shit to teams when they were winning over the past couple of years, especially Chris Paul. Pardon, maybe I'm misremembering, but the 2021 Western Conference Finals, Game 6, right? Remember when Chris Paul went off in that game? It was the last game that he played before he was diagnosed with, right? Well, I don't even think we got to do that anymore. We got to pretend this ain't the same environment. Before he was diagnosed with COVID, right? Which caused him to miss some of the games in the finals. But anyway, remember he put on a shooting clinic against Pat Bev, but he was talking mad shit. Showboating, talking to the crowd, talking to the opposing sidelines, all of the players. They were talking shit. And that's when Pat Bev pushed him in the back. Now, I don't advocate a person being pushed to the back, you know what I'm saying, because that could lead to unnecessary fucking injury. But still, don't act like you guys don't do that. I remember Game 7 of the semis last year between you and Dallas, a series that y'all were supposed to win. And before the game, y'all was rah-rah, doing all this unnecessary, Kappa Beta Phi shit, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all the reincarnation of the Chicago Bulls, ultimately to lose at home by 33 points, down by as many as 46 to Luka and them boys. Yeah, so you guys have a lot of history of, talking shit to other teams too. And look, if you're the New Orleans Pelicans, no, man, you got a right to want to root for something. That franchise has been horrible. I think the Pelicans have like a 42% win percentage as far as their career is concerned. The career of that franchise. Look, even when Anthony Davis was there, the 7 years he was there, they did not make the playoffs 5 times. And look, last year, this team showed a lot of promise, right? This team showed a lot of promise. I believe they made it to the first round of playoffs, if my memory serves me correctly. But the missing component was Zion Williamson. And we've been on Zion Williamson for being hurt. Some of us have called him lazy over the years. You're not working hard enough. There were some people thinking that, hey, he didn't even want to be there anymore. People were telling him, you don't want to be in this small city. You should be in New York or whatever, right? And maybe he was even listening to that for a while. But he's there, he's healthy, and he's playing at a very high level. And look, this guy ain't been playing much. So, yeah, if he can give the fans what they want, fans that they haven't had shit to root for so long, he want to give them a 360 fucking dunk, give it to him. It ain't like if the game was a fucking blowout. And let me say this, man. Phoenix, this needs to be said too. This ain't last year, Phoenix. And I'll tell you what I mean by this. Because I observed this last year. I don't know if too many people observed this or not. This ain't last year's NBA, nor is this last year's Western Conference Phoenix. See, teams have gotten better. And you don't have the benefit of playing against weakened teams. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Last year at this time, going into January, the league was hit by the outbreak, right? The outbreak. It was a COVID-19 outbreak that swept the NBA. We all remember this. Some teams were hit so hard that they had to sign up players from the G League just to have enough players to play on the floor to not forfeit the goddamn game, right? Or at least not to have the game, I don't think you can forfeit the game in the NBA. At least not to have the game delayed, I should say. I don't think you can forfeit the game in the NBA. But anyway, the one franchise that was not really hurt by the Phoenix Suns, I already gave it away. The only team that wasn't hurt by the pandemic was the Phoenix Suns. They were the one team that was not hurt by the pandemic, not much. And they benefited from that. So that means that oftentimes they're playing against teams, especially during that January, February stint, they're playing against teams that were not their best. Often their best players were not playing because they had tested positive. So they're playing against makeshift rosters while they were able to build their chemistry and build their continuity with the same roster. And that led to them winning 63 games. But we ain't got that this year. Oh, no. There's no outbreak this year. And even when there's outbreaks, the window of return is much faster now. So now you're going up against teams, Phoenix. And when you look at Chris Paul, who's definitely on the downside of his career, well, it is what it is. But don't get frustrated, New Orleans. They're a young, hungry team that's trying to make a statement. You know, so I ain't got no problem with Zion Williamson. Shit, I hope he go in the slam dunk contest. Shit, that's what he's known for. That's like if it's a fast break opportunity and you got a great passer and a great finisher. Shit, you want to see one more fucking feed from the great passer to to the guy for a layup or score. I mean, it's just fuck it. That's what the fans want to see. He gave what the fans wanted to see, and that's oftentimes that's not even what we see. Often we don't see players caring about what the fans want to see. Look at this shit was happening in Brooklyn, where they might not even have enough players to fucking play. Or what is it? 8 players out? 7 or 8 players will be out tonight. What type of bullshit is that? All of them hurt? All of them. So anyway, in a league that is hurting for star power and pleasing the fans and availability, Zion is available. That was a crowd-pleasing dunk. If I ever seen one, motherfuck the Phoenix Suns.